It began with a look, a generation that stopped looking down and started looking up. The call to Mars was finally being answered. By 2030, the global effort reached a fever pitch. Humanity was preparing its greatest exodus. In 2031, the engines roared to life. Millions watched as the first crewed mission to the Red Planet left Earth's orbit. 6 months of silence, 6 months of isolation, the pioneers crossed the vast celestial ocean. In 2032, they arrived. The Red Planet was no longer a speck of light, but a world waiting to be touched. The 7 minutes of terror, a descent through fire and dust to reach the surface of our new home. Touchdown. For the first time, human technology rested on the soil of another world. The mission had begun. The 2030s were defined by survival. Every second was a battle against the environment, and every success was a miracle. The Martian winters were brutal. Temperatures plummeted, and the early crew lived in a constant state of vigilance. Base Alpha was a patchwork of Earth-made modules, a tiny bubble of life in a cold, airless desert. Dust storms that lasted months tested the psychological limits of the first crew. Isolation became the greatest enemy. By the end of the decade, we moved from survival to stabilization. Ice convoys became the lifeblood of the growing base. In 2038, we found it. Vast deposits of subsurface ice. We finally had the key to staying forever. As we entered the 2040s, the mission changed. We weren't just visiting, we were moving in. We stopped shipping houses from Earth. We started printing them using the very soil beneath our feet. Mining operations expanded. We stopped bringing everything from Earth and started building with what we found. The Green Revolution of 2045. We created our first self-sustaining ecosystems inside the Great Domes. Efficiency was key. Vertical farms provided a diverse diet and precious vitamins for the growing population. By 2047, we were breathing air made on Mars. The dependency on Earth-shipped oxygen was over. We went underground. The massive lava tubes provided natural shields against radiation, housing thousands in safety. The 2050s was the decade of growth. The population hit 100,000, and the first Martian-born generation grew up. In 2052, the first human was born on another world. A true Martian who would never know the weight of Earth's gravity. We had to learn how to raise children in low gravity. Schools became centers of both education and biological monitoring. Infrastructure spanned the planet. The Great Maglev Line connected the polar mines to the equatorial cities. Communication was the tether to our past. The Martian internet link ensured that no colonist was ever truly out of touch. We built centers of learning. Mars was no longer just for workers. It was for thinkers, artists, and explorers. Vast solar farms powered our progress, harvesting every photon to keep the life support systems humming. Industry exploded in the 2060s. Mars became the forge of the solar system. Martian iron and steel built the ships that would take us further. We were no longer Earth's colony, but Earth's partner. Factories the size of cities hummed with the sound of progress. We were now mass-producing the future. Mars became the hub for asteroid mining. The resources of the belt flowed through Martian ports to the inner planets. Orbital refineries processed hydrogen from Martian water, fueling the next wave of exploration to Jupiter and Saturn. The Hela spaceport became the busiest gate in the solar system, a monument to human ambition and engineering. Then came the 2070s, the decade we decided to change the planet's very soul. Terraforming began. We warmed the world. Massive factories pumped heat-trapping gases into the sky to unlock the frozen spirit of the planet. Giant mirrors in orbit focused the sun's energy, melting the ancient ice and releasing carbon dioxide to thicken the air. The atmosphere thickened. For the first time, a human could step outside with only a breathing mask and a coat. In 2076 it happened, a brief warm drizzle, the first rain on Mars in over 3 billion years. Global bioseeding. We introduced hardy lichens and mosses, the first true pioneers of the open Martian surface. The 2080s was the decade the sky turned blue, a moment every Martian had dreamed of for 50 years. In 2081, the red dust settled enough for the Rayleigh scattering to take hold. Mars had a blue sky. With a new sky came a new nation. In 2082, the United Mars Republic was born, a sovereign world of its own. The ice had melted, rivers flowed through the canyons, and the first sea, the Sea of Hope, began to fill the north. By 2089, we were sailing. Low gravity allowed for graceful, massive ships that danced on the Martian waves. The 2090s saw the flourishing of a new civilization. 10 million people called Mars home. Our cities were no longer domes. They were open, vibrant metropolises where nature and technology lived in harmony. We found a balance, no longer a colony, but a sister world, working with Earth to safeguard the future of humanity. Martian sports became a global phenomenon. Our low gravity allowed for feats of athleticism impossible on Earth. The canyons became our national parks, forests of towering trees thriving in the enriched Martian soil. A unique culture was born, an art of light and space, a music of the spheres. Mars was no longer a planet, it was a home. And so we reach the year 2100. 100 years since the first dreamers turned their eyes to the sky. We remember the pioneers, those who faced the red dust so we could walk under a blue sky. Mars is alive, a testament to human will, cooperation, and the enduring spirit of exploration. The story of Mars is just the first chapter. Our eyes are already turning to the stars beyond. From a red desert to a blue home. This was the century of Mars. Thank you for joining the journey.